Yes, welcome back to another video. Brad McKinnon here. Today you can see right there we've got a external corner bead in a garage that's been either hit by a car door or something heavy and it's bashed it, just knocked it right in. So we're going to repair this for the client. We're just here doing a bit of other work. While we're doing that, we'll add this to the list, and the first thing we want to do is get out our multi-tool with our metal blade on it. Now we want to be real careful here because that corner bead is quite loose under the plaster and you can get a little bit of kickback off the blade, but we just want to slice through that corner bead. The reason we're going to use a multi-tool or even a hacksaw, if you've got one, just to keep that edge nice and straight. We don't want to be knocking it out of shape anymore. We're going to be joining the new one up too. We want to get a nice clean cut through there. A metal hacksaw will do a trick as well. If you've got a nice sharp blade on that, it'll cut through nicely, but the multi-tool is the easier option there. Once we've got that off, we can just use our tin snips to get off any bits that we didn't get with the multi-tool, and we just want to clean off that plaster there that's built up underneath the bead, so we can get our new bead on as flush as possible. So having that nice clean background to work with will make things a lot easier when installing the new bead. So I've got enough cut here, and I'm just cutting off those corners on an angle so they're not hitting the existing bead. And a good way to measure it is just to flip it over and just rest that bottom corner onto the existing, and you can just see where it's going to meet the new piece, and you can cut it there. And even cutting it a bit longer is fine because you can always trim it up to fit. If you cut it short, you're going to have to start again and cut a new one. So I've got it pretty spot on with my first cut there. Took my time measuring it, and it's going to fit in just right. Just the main thing here is to get those two ends meeting up perfectly. Just keep feeling them there with your finger as you're putting the staples in. Again, you'll get it right, and then you'll put another staple in and it might push it over a bit, so just keep checking all the time. Once you start getting a few staples in to hold it in place, the easier it'll get. You can see here I'm just moving it over a bit more, just pulling it out or pushing it in just to get it nice and flush. We do this right, then the rest of the process is going to move along a lot easier. So that's all in nice and flush, and I just had a bit of setting compound already mixed up with some other work I'm doing in the garage. I'm just going to fill this in. Now if you've only got a pre-mixed hair drying compound, that's absolutely fine. The only thing you'll find is that when it dries, it's quite thick, this first coat. It might shrink in a lot more than a setting compound does. You might end up having to do one or two more coats on it just to get it out, filled out. That's the good thing with setting compounds. It's good for these thicker applications and it won't shrink back as much. So we've let it dry and we've given it a scrape back, and now we're going to hit it with our first coat of finishing compound. And again, we're just working up, running our knife up along the corner of the bead. And what you'll find is that your knife just might be, as you run it up and down, it just might be bumping where you've joined it, where it meets the new, where the new and the existing meet. If there's a little gap there or there's a little lip there, your knife just might be bumping over it. What I like to do is just, I've done a quick fill, it's now touch dry, it's been 5 or 10 minutes. I'm just going to come back and just fill it with my trowel the opposite way. So that's going to fill in any little bits. Again, if it's short or if there's any little hollows, it's just filling in those bits that way. So when we do our next coat, we won't get that. So we'll let that dry. So here we get, again you can see I'm actually skimming all these walls in this room. So we're just going to scrape off any bits there that are overhanging. Just take your time, get it all nice. It's better to have too much on at this stage where you can sort of scrape it back or sand it back before you do your final coat. And here's our final coat going on. We're just going to go down the bead. Remember our last one, we filled it out the other way. So this time we're just going to go up and down and just flush it off perfectly. We'll do one side at a time. This was a full garage renovation. So we'll just finish off this side here. Just nice tight final skim coats. And again, if you've got a bit of overhang, that's fine. We can sand that back on our final sand. Remember, it's better to leave a bit more on than to not leave enough on. So we can always sand it back. So here we are. That's all nice and dry. Just going to take our little sanding block. It's a nice new one, nice and hard. And we can just run it up the corner bead there, just to get that corner bead showing. I'm just going to sand off any edges, get it nice and smooth. It doesn't need much. That final coat was nice and tight and pretty good. And I always like to check it over with the light. If you hold the light on an angle, it shows up any imperfections. You can just get it absolutely perfect, ready for painting. And that's the process of fixing a damaged external corner bead. Hope that helped any of you guys out there that are trying to do a bit of DIY at home. If it did, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.